Here's the rule for you, Jorge, going forward. You have got to take the posture that you don't really understand the problem before you try to solve it. Okay, let's go to Jorge. What's your question, Jorge?
Yes, Matt, I'm new to the program and I
Yes.
found it really amazing so far.
Yeah.
We've been married 47 years.
Wow.
We have a great family. I'm a former engineer, so I think that I always have a solution for the problems. And sometimes I say things that really offend my wife, and then she shut off, okay, and she's not talking.
Yeah.
And my question is, I know I need to change this. What can I do to change this? And second, what's the better way to act when she feel offended? What should I do?
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay. What Jorge is asking is because he has a different personality, kind of the engineer. His wife, a lot of times, doesn't think her opinion matters. In fact, she thinks Jorge discredits her opinion. Is that right, Jorge?
Yes, yes,
And then it causes her to be offended more.
exactly.
So, one thing I would do immediately, Jorge, with your wife is make sure you go take the assessment for the
I did.
starved spiral, right? Okay,
Yes.
good. And then
Yes.
have your wife take it because then you can see the impact you're having on your wife. And then
Yes.
what's so great about this, and this is engineering 101, right? You're gathering more data. So it's easy to be sure of a solution when you are never looking for more data. If you just take existing data, you always have a good solution for the data you have. But I
Yes.
think a good way to think about your wife is that she has access to a lot of information you don't access. And that information isn't logic per se, maybe. It might just be intuition. It might be nurturing. It might be more emotional. For example, did you know, Jorge, that women maintain more eye contact with the people they're talking to than men do? And so if women are maintaining more visual contact, they pick up more data. Men, we've kind of evolved and wired to have our eyes shifting around a lot. And that's to make sure we don't die, right? That's to make sure that we don't have a mountain lion come attack us. But women, their world was generally around keeping that baby alive, which meant they had to keep their attention close and proximal. For example, you may say something to the kids and she notices one of your kids kind of roll their eyes a little bit. Like, there goes dad, Mr. Engineer, thinks he knows everything. And your wife sees that. And then they feel safer with her. So she comes,
Yes.
but they come back and talk to her about it. So
Yes.
she has information. So here's the rule for you, Jorge, going forward is data in, data out, right? So if you don't get good data, whatever your solution is going to be hindered. So you have got to take the posture that you don't really understand the problem before you try to solve it. So what I would suggest you do is you get curious and you go maybe 5 turns of data gathering to understand the problem. And then what I would do is I would ask your wife, what's her opinion? And I would ask her opinion first. And then I would use that as the foundation for what you would add to. You don't have to tear down her opinion. Just say, I love that part of it. I love that part of it. I love that part of it. And the only thing I would add to that is this. You become efficient in your prescription of a solution. But what is really important, apparently, to your wife is not efficiency. It's effectiveness, right? And
Yes.
effectiveness is
Yes.
doing the right thing in the right order, not
Exactly.
just doing something quickly. And so I want you to slow down the process and I want you to seek more data before
Exactly.
you solve anything.
Exactly.
And by the way, the reason you want to seek data, Jorge, is like if one of the kids says, I don't know if we should do this or this. It's just don't come in and say, do that. Stop and just go to the person and say, okay, I can see you're confused. Tell me more about why you're confused and get more data. And here's why, Jorge, is that will make it so that these people around you get to feel like they share more about what's going on before you jump in and fix stuff or solve it. Remember earlier, I had a rule that says no participation, no buy-in. And it sounds like the way you communicate, Jorge, is you don't create participation. You just create mandates that you hand down. But when you get them sharing more, like your wife, tell me your position on this, honey. That participation gives you more data, so you have a better solution that involves more levels of the issue, but it also gets them to believe that you actually care, right? There's a quote that I love that says, I don't care how much you know, Jorge, until I know how much you care. Right? So we're not going to, this is never about fixing a problem. By the way, it is in engineering, but it's not in family and it's not in marriage. It's first and foremost, I've got to gather data. And while I'm gathering the data, I need to show I care. And then I'm going to defer to the voice that I hear the least, which would maybe be your wife in certain situations. I'm going to defer to her. Honey, you understand the kids better than me. Tell me what you think we should do. And then let her give her idea. And then make sure she knows you care. And then anything else you can add to it, add to it. But I would try not to subtract anything. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes total sense. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jorge, I'm proud of you. It's a big deal for you to be trying to learn this. Every single one of us, whether we're engineers or not, Jorge, can learn from what you just showed us. And we need to make sure the people in our lives know we care way more than we fix their problems. We want them to know we're going to be there through thick and thin. So Jorge, go try that and then come back and come tell us how it's going, okay?
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I
Thank you, Jorge.
really enjoy your program.
Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.